Garfield, good evening.
What's happening? I'll shake your hand.
Oh, yeah, Roman style.
Yeah, brother.
We get on that.
Like senators.
Yes. Two white guys selling comics. Right here. Not just selling comics, selling the best of 2017 comics.
This is the best of this year.
Not the mediocre.
No.
Not the, that was pretty good, but
No.
the art sucked. Not the, oh, the art was great, but oh, that's sort of terrible.
We have distilled our thoughts.
We have. We tried to at least.
All of our opinions we've distilled like a fine spirit.
Into what? Three. Count them. 3 picks each.
Yeah,
For a total of 6 picks.
Yeah, 6. Sorry,
6.
we threw them off there.
For the mathematically challenged. It's 6. And I think we're going to count them down from worst to first.
Oh,
Not
I
that
don't know
it's
if I
worst.
did that. All right.
Yeah, anyway, yeah.
Let's gotta grab them.
I want to go first.
Okay.
I'm going to tell you about this book right here called Black Cloud.
You were raving about this book.
I fell in love with Greg Hinkle on that Jimmy Robinson book,
Airboy.
Boy, which was
super weird.
wasn't 2017. Otherwise, I might have picked that this year. I absolutely adore his art style. He's very, very good at pretty much everything, but particularly for me, expressions.
Yeah.
And this one is the story of Zelda, who was at one time, I guess, empress of a realm of stories.
Wow.
And as we start out in the beginning of the story, she's just hanging out in like New York City, right? Handing out with like a bunch of drug dealers and flunkies and stuff like that. And she ends up taking, what she does is she's left the realm, and she's in our world now. And she is taking people back to her realm in the auspices of giving them this crazy drug that they give her money for, right? Which is how she makes her ways around. And she ends up taking the mayor's son on one of these trips, right? And after this, the mayor shows up and he's like, can you keep him going there? And like maybe never have him come back because he's up for re-election and stuff. So you get this crazy like modern world that she's escaped to, our world, the mundane world, if you would. And this crazy like tripped out like dream world with talking cats and just pretty much everything. And it's beautifully rendered.
Wow, that's crazy.
And just great. It's very, very different. I love it. It's called Black Cloud. It is Jason Latour, Ivan Brandon, and Greg Hinkle, and big ups to Matt Wilson on colors.
Latour's on Southern Masters, right?
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe so. Juxtaposed to that is my middle pick, number 2, which is just, it's like Conan.
Blood and gore.
It is super, it's called Extremity by Image, and the first volume is called Artist. And the reason it's called Artist is our hero of the story. Story starts out with her clan getting murdered by this other clan, and their whole thing is like, they've got this one guy with a crazy claw thing, and he chops up your extremities.
All right.
So he ends up chopping off her arm, and it's her kind of dealing with this, and her father basically going through and having revenge on all of these people. And it builds up towards the end. Well, exactly. He killed his wife and chopped his daughter's arm off and stuff. And leading up to this pivotal point with her brother and her facing her father, are they going to continue this, what do you call it, cycle of violence?
Yeah.
And believe me, there is a lot of red going on in this book right here. But this Mike Spicer on art here is the first book I've seen him. Daniel Warren Johnson is the writer and artist. Apologies to me. Mike Spicer, another fabulous job of coloring in this book. Daniel Johnson's artwork in here is very reminiscent of like a Paul Poe.
Sure.
And killer. $9.99 graphic novel for the first 5 issues.
More so
6
than
issues,
like
actually.
Jeff Lemire and Matt Kint, which have a very stylized thing.
Yeah.
Not that Paul Pope doesn't have a stylized.
Yeah.
I mean, but it's a little more realistic.
It's beautiful.
It's
I mean, they
more...
take the title artist to that degree. There's different forms of like when they tell the backstory and of all the prior times and stuff like that. It's kind of got a different kind of shade to it and stuff.
Yeah,
It's really, really beautiful and very, very well written too. It was hard for me. It was right up there with my number 1 pick. But I'll wait until we get to number 3 and number 2 picks.
All right, let's do that.
Tell me, Eric Warfield, I am apt with anticipation.
Throughout the year, I have also been given a lot of shout outs to this. Brian Wood, Rebels, various artists. Every issue kind of takes on a different artist because they take on a different character. But they are real people who help found America, and it's their trials and tribulations and what they had to go through.
Comic books based on real events?
Real people.
Wow. And they sell?
Yeah, the story is that he tried to write a story within this time period, and then he realized, wow, the real story of a guy like Ethan Allen, the real story of Braddock, the real story of George Washington, the real story of all these people, Sojourner Truth, the real story of these people is crazier than anything I could write. So I'm going to get together with artists, and I'm going to do spotlights on famous or not so famous people in the founding of America. And
nice.
This one is the Virginian. But there's a trade out. There's tons of more books out.
There's a couple. I think there's a second incarnation.
Oh yeah,
right?
Absolutely. Yeah. There's a couple volumes of
With
it.
subtitles and like that.
We'll start there.
The Virginia. It's a good movie too, right? John Wayne.
Dun, 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 dun. So my pick may not be everyone's thought of what was the best or what was the craziest. Maybe Saga is the best, or maybe. But these are books to me that like change the way I think or change the way I look at comic books and how comic books can be done. So you take a book like this. This guy wrote a book about cannibalistic she-wolves called She-Wolf that was totally crazy, and he followed it up with this book, Spy Seal, which is if Hergé made Tintin out to be James Bond, but made him a seal as an anthropomorphic animal, and totally made these cool, super European,
it's really great looking.
espionage, and it's all animals. It's all like little cat kids and like dogs, chickens, everything, but they're all just caricatures and obviously allegories of real people and types of people, archetypes of personality types of people.
Is there a weasel in there?
There's probably some weasels in here. I think that's a weasel right there.
There you go.
And it's a whole lot of fun. I had to give it a read through before I gave it to my kids because I was a little scared after reading She-Wolf.
Yeah,
and so there's a Dark Corridor. There's another one of his crazy book. But this guy just it's genius. It'll change the way you look at
and
a lot of
stuff. And I will say this one very different than the other two. Like the artwork on it is like super stylized, super tight.
Absolutely.
Well, obviously because
he's making it look like Tintin. Yeah. The same way that Scioli and those guys take Kirby and make it like a style. Like the genre of that becomes the way you tell the story. This is the same way. This is the Spy Seal. It's done just like Tintin,
and it's
awesome.
Right? First time he's done Spy Seal, hopefully.
Yeah. And it's really cool. And it's I can read it. I think it's fantastic. My kids are 13 and 9. They read it. They think it's fantastic.
Ooh,
so
all ages.
Right? So anybody can read it. And I think my daughter referred to this as this is my cocaine, is what she said. So
nice.
There you go.
It's bright and shiny.
Yeah, it's beautiful. It's really fun. It's
nice.
Cool. A lot of fun.
So that's your favorite book?
No.
Oh, wait. Oh, wow.
Our top picks are number one. Are you ready for number one?
I am. And as you said earlier, not everybody's favorite book, but I think not only my favorite book, but my favorite author of the year, Jeff Lemire. Did a couple of other great books this year. After Death.
Yep. Roughneck, you said, was
Roughneck. This guy is just, I don't know, man, tour de force. Writer, artist. Yeah. And Royal City is, I think, kind of a harken back to Exeter City. His earlier stuff was very much all about the characters rather than this grandiose, like After Death. It's like, oh, we've discovered the cure for death kind of stuff. And this one is a failed writer going back to Royal City, which is the town that he grew up with, and dealing with his father. He goes back there because his father's had a heart attack. And his sister, his brother, and his mother, all of who are very, very caricatures in there.
These guys are super heavy, man.
Right? And all of them seeing different versions of his dead brother.
Oh, wow.
At different ages, like he sees him as like the 6-year-old kid. Right? I guess he died in like his 20s and stuff like that. His oldest brother, who's a big drinker and he owes money to the mob and kind of stuff, he sees him like right before his death kind of stuff.
Wow.
His sister, who is trying to redevelop this shitty, like, it's almost like Pittsburgh, like the whole town is going down the tubes and she's in real estate and stuff. She's trying to make this big old project and stuff, but everybody hates her because they want to hang on to the past kind of stuff. He is excellent when it comes to just, I mean, this is only 5 issues, And within 2 issues, you know all of these characters. And I think a lot of us, we can relate to people that we know.
Sure.
Which I think is what he does really. He writes great dialogue, and he writes really poignant stuff. And I think this is the best that I've read in quite some time. So Royal City, this is the first 5, I believe. All Lemire, written, illustrated. I don't even know if he colored it in here, but it's good stuff. Very good stuff. He colored it. He did everything but letter the bloody thing. He's no John Byrne. $9.99 Image First. How about that? Boom. Oosh. All 3 of my volumes cost you a mere $29.97, old Pip.
Wow.
So cheap.
I think my pick's gonna kill you right here.
What?
Although, maybe not.
Wow.
$20.
I didn't see that coming.
$19.99.
Get out. What's it called?
It is called Solid State.
Like audio? Solid State?
Yeah. Because it's all about robots and weird stuff. So, saw this guy. It is Jonathan Colton. He opened for Amy Mann when I saw Amy Mann play. And I kind of got my hackles up when 2 20-somethings were like, ooh, Amy Mann. I get their phones out. Who's this chick? She should be opening for him. And I'm thinking, dude, what are you talking about? This guy, Amy Mann should be opening for this guy? And it turned out that guy was absolutely hilarious. He was great. He it's mostly just guitar. He kind of just came out with an acoustic guitar, and he does like a lot of like satire. Think of like kind of like a Weird Al Yankovic, and like he doesn't spoof other people's stuff. He writes his own music,
spoken word,
but it's spoken word, and it's really funny. But it has a song about divorced guys shopping at IKEA. He had a song that was about breaking up with his girlfriend, and all he could do now is sit around and watch YouTube videos about cats to cheer himself up. And the guy was a blast. It was really, really funny.
Wow.
So it turns out the concept for his album was like futuristic, about the end of the world, a guy trying to survive and live in a destroyed Earth with like technology and robots and goofy stuff. And so they were selling this book, Solid State. You could buy it along with his CD.
Yeah.
And I was like, man, I should totally pick one of those up.
Did he write it?
It was him and Matt Fraction.
Huh.
So
is he the illustrator also?
No, he was just the idea man. So he teams up with Matt Fraction, and the artwork is by Albert Montes, the award-winning Spanish artist of the universe.
Ooh.
So
The whole universe?
it's just like that's okay. Here it is, perfect. It's 2001: A Space Odyssey meets Office Space.
Ah, nice.
And that was pretty much spot on. So yeah, it's like it's got a little bit of a Wall-E aspect to it, right? You kind of get to see what the future will hold for you, and you kind of follow this guy around, and he's got his little spacesuit, and he's just sort of like trying to exist, and it's super surreal. It gets meta at times, and it's super out there, and it was a phenomenal read, and it absolutely blew my mind.
Nice.
From Image, from Image Comics.
$20?
$20.
You should buy it.
You should buy it.
We should sell it.
Fantastic.
I think we've never had it on the shelf. We have? Oh.
Yeah. I thought I ordered some because I was like, man, that book was awesome. We should totally get to this. The moon disappears. How's the world gonna be different? Robots, everything.
Can I have it?
It's awesome. You should
Never
have
read
it. Check it out.
It sounds awesome.
It's awesome. It's a lot of fun.
So that's it. That's just a few of the great books that came out in 2017.
It was a phenomenal year for comic books.
Yeah, I think we're going to put a few more up. We'll show you some pictures of them with titles and stuff.
Saga, blah, blah, blah. And obviously there's awesome
it was a good
books
year.
out there. Tons of books, right?
Yeah, good year for Image overall.
Absolutely.
Very good year for DC with Rebirth. Thank God that's back.
Yeah.
And I think a good year overall. A little bit of everything for everybody. From books like this to books
These
like
are our
that
top
one.
3.
Yeah. Thank you everybody for checking us out. If you don't like them, it's probably Eric's fault. Or Ed's fault. It couldn't be mine. You know how that is.
It's Ed's show. He makes the show.
Ed show. Happy New Year.